flow. Flow down. Everything. We don't care. Flip flop, stick on the tile. Cheap booze, burning my smile. Landlord, goes to the wild, but the block still running on wild. Ashtray, right by the sink. Neighbors banging on the brink. Roaches running in a line like they trying to get a drink. Dance with the roaches, party with the frog. Whole block jumping out the gutters and the bar. We don't need velvet ropes, we don't need clean walls. Dance with the ropes, party with the frogs. Dance with the ropes. Dance with the ropes. Dance with the ropes. Dance with the ropes. Party with the frogs. Frogs. Backyard flooded last week. Now the frogs never leave. They croak loud on the beat, like they got somewhere to be. Bare feet, busted gate, cracked phone, still we late. Moon hang crooked and low, still the speakers got us. Dance with the ropes, party with the frogs. Whole block jumping out the gutters and the bar. We don't need velvet ropes, we don't need clean walls. Dance with the ropes, party with the frogs. Dance with the ropes. Dance with the ropes. Dance with the ropes. Dance with the ropes. Party with the frogs. Who you call trash? We call that crowd. Every little shadow singing too loud. If you feel stuck, if you feel lost, come get filled. Let the bugs talk. Hey, talk, 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 talk. Dance with the ropes. Dance with the ropes. Dance with the ropes. Dance with the ropes. Party with the frogs. Lights low. Floor down. First we lived in the caves, then we lived in the trees, then we lived in the halls, and now we live on the screens. But all that matters is the memes. Doesn't matter if you censor us or try and sue the thought right through, 'cause every idea's a lit new fuse, a whispered joke they can't undo. The memes will never die. You can try, but you can't take them away. Ooh, oh, the memes will never die. You can try, you can fight, but you can't take them away. We used to die in the cold. Now we die from disease. Next we'll die in the holes, and then we'll die in the seas. But all that matters is the means. First we had empires, then we had gold, then we had nation stories told, then we had idols on a screen, but the only truth we've ever seen is
guys are having a fantastic time. We got some shit to do today. New day, new AI models. We got quite a bit. Oh, shit.
Memes will never die.
There we go.
Memes will never die.
All right. All right, guys. So, we got quite a bit to do today. I don't have a whole lot of time. We got just up front, right here at the top of the show. Let's let this die down just a minute. All right. Sweet. Okay. So, let's talk about what we're going to do today. I don't have a whole lot of time. I wish I did. Tomorrow is my girlfriend's birthday, and I promised her that I would spend the day with her. And when she goes to bed, then we will be back into the bong water zone tomorrow. But it's her birthday. We got to make it special. And then the following day is Valentine's Day. So we got to also do Valentine's Day because you got to do it. And I do it happily. But yeah, just a little disruption there in the stream schedule, so I do apologize for that, but it's what's gonna happen. Today we are working on It's Always Been About the Money, in part, and also the Higgsfield contest. There is actually a contest on Higgsfield right now for the best action scene. So I'll walk you guys through what we're going to be doing. It'll be pretty great, and hope you guys enjoy the creative process. And we will get into it in just a moment. A couple things that I want to talk about as usual. Are you going to get more Chad Nux? Yes. As soon as I finish the second Tectone episode in Vietnam, then we will be working on Nux too. So Nux is absolutely getting another episode. It is definitely going to happen. But I think before we do the Nux episode, I think it's actually going to be Menace Crew episode 3. So yeah, we have quite a bit that we're going to be doing. Now, all right. Couple things before we get started. As usual, because it is yet another day, we have more changes to our AI models. Yes, I know there's always going to be changes. There's always updates. It's a revolving door of new shit all the time that we have to learn and stay on top of because we want to make the best slop possible. How do we do that? Well, the best way to do that is, just use it a shitload. But I'm here to kind of tell you guys what's up. First thing that's changing in 2 days, on the 14th of February, Suno is getting a new feature. Suno is getting the chat to edit feature. It's a pretty big one, in my opinion. No longer are you just slot machining it 24/7 or saying if you can get some changes in grok or wording or whatever, but now you'll be able to actually use a chat function within Suno itself in order to edit your songs and tracks without it getting too fucked up. That's pretty fucking cool. The other thing that with the all models are getting more accurate, very much so. Now, here's the other thing that Suno is also they've rolled this out already, and I don't know how many people have kind of noticed this, but Suno for a long time, if you use a prohibited keyword in your style, for example, you want to use I don't know, The Doors or Rush or whatever the case may be. You trying to emulate a band and it says you can't do that. You have an artist name in there. Well, as of a couple days ago, I know that personally, I noticed that it doesn't matter that those are in there. It is now automatically filtering those out and finding the most similar words to describe that artist. So that is a feature that they currently have, which is actually pretty fantastic. So it's pretty fucking cool. Band name and things, yeah, you can 100% do that. It's pretty cool, but they have made those changes already. That is something that is already in the system. If you use a band name, it will alter it out. So pretty fucking cool. The other thing also is, the chat to edit is is pretty big, and the new studio is also pretty fantastic. It does have warp markers, and for those that don't know what warp markers is, let me kind of show an example of that. Let's use this track right here. Let's open in uh where the fuck is open in studio? Open in studio. All right. So we're going to open this track in studio and warp import audio. Yeah, I fucking know. I know I can do all those things. Thank you very much. So, what's warping? Well, if I were to play a metronome and I were to play a song, if I generated it with Suno, and also for that matter, it actually has nothing to do with just Suno, by the way. This is something that happens across audio in general and is a big thing about when, as a DJ, right? Audio prep is a big thing, and you have to fix your audio a lot. So, warp markers and what you can do with this is you can actually ensure that your track is actually on the BPM that it's supposed to be. Does it really matter for most songs, to be perfectly honest? No. No, it doesn't. For most people, you're really not going to need this, but it actually is kind of a big deal that you can now do warp markers in order to perfect your song and use studio as a DAW. That's actually really, really fucking big. Let's see. Let's You know what? I don't want to take too much time on there. So that's that. Uh I'll do more with Suno later when I have more time. But there is some more Suno stuff. We'll probably come back and take a look at this and when we do the when we get chat to edit and maybe there's a new model. Maybe we get version 5 plus. I don't know. Do I show how I make the AI videos? I do in every single in every video in every stream that I do. I play with Ace Step 1.5 yet. I have not posted the link, and I can certainly do that. She used her own lyrics and voice, and it does sound like her. Yes, there's quite a bit you can really do with that. I know that is definitely something they're improving. There's a lot of people that are vocalists that want to use their own vocals in there or emulate their own vocals, and that is something that they are working on to the best of their ability. I don't really know what we're doing. Only seen videos, first time on live stream. Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome. You haven't used Studio at all. You love a stream on that. We will do a video on just Studio because there is so much to unpack for your audio. It's actually kind of insane. Um, I can just get the fucking MIDI. I can get the MIDI for any song that I want, and then I can take that into Ableton, FL Studio, whatever the fuck, and then really go crazy with it. It's kind of nuts what you can do. Let's see what it's going to do with the MIDI. If it's going to actually give me a download to interrupt my flow, we'll find out in a moment. Okay. All right. Let's talk about our changes that we have to Higgsfield. Now, Higgsfield, man, all right. We've had quite a shakeup in the past week with AI video. I would actually say probably 2 weeks, to be perfectly honest. We had Vdo Q3 come out, so we got the Nux video done with that, and that was pretty great in order to get our action sequences. Shortly after we finished that, though, we got Kling 3, and now we have Higgsfield Studio 2. Now, I'm going to show you guys a few features that are really cool, and then we'll get into our development for It's Always Been About the Money, so you guys can see how I actually work on AI stuff live. Oh my god, it literally just that's amazing. Thank you for the MIDI. That's wild. I love it. I love it. Okay. And for those who don't know what MIDI means, that means you're getting all the keys and the notes and everything, so you can take that into another program and do whatever the fuck you want with it. That's pretty fucking cool. Crash Out Rapport was also 3 was also funny. Oh yeah. Ms. Kiff is such a fucking clown. Okay. So what is new? What is new? Well, there are a few new buttons that we have down here in the bottom. In fact, I'm going to go back to my personal really quick so I can look at that. Balance is too low. It is always too low. I don't think I have had a positive balance in a while. Yeah, what would you shoot with infinite budget? Yeah, there's quite a bit that I would do. Okay, so this is kind of a test that I ran. Do I use Grok for lyrics? No, I do not. Hey, uh, Moom, don't know how the fuck to say your name, but I appreciate you. You've been witness. Thanks, dude. All right, let's talk about Higgsfield Cinema Studio 2. Now, I've been using Cinema Studio for about the past month, and there's quite a bit that I've learned. The problem that you have with Higgsfield is there's a lot to learn in a very short amount of time. And they've already gone since January. They've gone from version 1, and we're now in version 2. I think actually yesterday, we were on version 1.5. So they are making rapid improvements. Is Seed Dance on Higgsfield? Seed Dance 2 will be on Higgsfield. It is not currently there yet. But let me show you guys. Let me show you guys how this works. So just like normal with when we're generating our images, we still have the same presets, right? We have our grand format that used to be the IMAX camera. Now it's a lot more simplified. You have your lenses, your focal length, your aperture. For those that don't know that how your aperture or your focal length or anything like that works, I would strongly recommend looking up a few guides as to how that really works. It's a lot, but I promise it's going to be very, very useful to you when you're setting up your shots and your images. And Higgsfield is the best image generator by far. Now, your focal length, just a very quick primer. The really, really stupid and dumb version of it is the lower the number, the more zoomed out it's going to be. The higher the number, the more zoomed in it's going to be. At least that's how it's going to appear. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory there. But how that works and the lens that you use and the aperture, all of that's going to change dramatically. That is going to change a lot depending on what you're trying to do, and also the style of content, right? If you're doing something that is going to be you're trying to recreate a retro film, and the camera that you use there and the lens you use is going to change the focal length and aperture values and how all of that works. There's a lot that goes into it, so just bear that in mind. For the most part, what I'm doing in the setup that I have is pretty standard. I just use the grand format with the clinical sharp prime. Focal length between 14 and 50, depending on the scene that I really want to get done. This is formerly the IMAX camera, so if you want the IMAX style, that's the grand format 70 millimeter film, and you can play around with this as much as you want. And also from bottom to top, just because I've been using this so much. This is your Panavision, your RE16 SR, your RE35, your IMAX, your Sony Venice or whatever the fuck, and then your Red Raptor. So those are kind of the differences between there, and then you have all your different lenses that you can choose if you want. A bunch of different styles. It is completely up to you how you really want to choose. I have a style that I kind of prefer, and so that's what I go with. Um, and okay, so that's kind of the same though. Outside of that, everything looks the same until we get to grid. Now, what's grid? Well, grid is a way where you can generate a bunch of images at once really quickly, and these are going to be a lot smaller. These aren't going to be 4K. Each one of these are just going to be 1080p. And you might think, well, 1080p is totally fine. I don't care about anything more than 1080p. Personally, I do care because AI, the more information, the more visual information you give an AI for your first frame, it's going to do. The first frame, it matters a lot. It matters a lot. So the higher the resolution, the better it's going to be. But if you just want to generate a bunch of stuff really quickly, you can do your cells and your grids. So you can do all the way to 4x4s if that's something you really want to do. Um, and then we come to one of my favorite things that used to be Kling specific, and that is elements. Now, what are elements? Elements allow you to have a character, item, scene, place, whatever, and have AI understand every last little thing about that and every last little detail about that item. Let me show you guys an example of that. I'm actually going to go to Kling really quick. So I have some that are pre-made there. And Kling has a few more features than Higgsfield does, but we still always do our setup images in Higgsfield no matter what, every single time. And whether we do our video in there, I'll show you how we get there. Now, I have my character, I have my front, side, back, alternate side. That's fine. I can
The
choose a
weather
voice.
will turn mild this
I don't want to fucking listen to those shitty voices. And what are your options? Well, you can upload a recording of yourself, you can upload a recording of somebody else, or you can generate your character talking and you can kind of specify, it's a gruff American accent, right? Like that's from somebody that's middle-aged, right? And you can generate a bunch and kind of see which voice you like, and then you can choose from your history which one you want to have represent the voice of your character. So not only do you have your consistent character every single time, but you now also have a consistent voice every single time. That's big. That is game changing, and there's so much you can do with it. So, but this isn't limited to just people or characters. You also have items. And if you need the AI to generate more images of that, well, it can certainly do so. I always recommend, with anything AI related, always use the highest possible quality base image that you can. If you're trying to reference a rifle, right? Don't use some fucking piece of shit, tiny little, even a 720p image. Don't use that. Find the best resolution that you can of what you want to actually represent, because that way, if you only have one side of a rifle or of an item, then it'll do a much better job at picking out all the little details that it needs to. For example, it was able to pick up the 338 arc, pick up the Noveski markings, and all of that. Really big deal that you make sure you always use the highest fidelity image you possibly can. Looking at Suno on the screen, no. Yandex and Tainai are best reverse image. Yes, you can certainly do that. That is really, really good. Also, be aware there are some things like this Noveski where some things actually get removed from the internet forever. So I actually went to look for the original full resolution images of all the various angles that were taken for the Cry Precision charity auction this year. I could not find them. And I tried using AI to find them. It was unable to find it. I don't know what the fuck happened. I tried going through my email inbox to try and find the message that I opened. that actually led me to the auction in the first place, I have no fucking idea. I know the rifle sold for a bunch, but I wanted to get the actual source images. But because I couldn't, I at least had downloaded and was smart enough to have downloaded the original images in high enough resolution that it was able to extrapolate all of the these images really well. Okay, so what does this mean in practice? Well, let me show you. I'm going to show you guys a couple different examples really quick of what you can actually do with this. Now, all of these examples down here, so these top four, those all have a start and end frame. The ones down below did not have a start and end frame. And using Higgsfield Studio, the video that you got out of it really wasn't fantastic. It was just lacking. There just wasn't anything uh exciting about it. It looked really good from a cinematic perspective. They all they looked great, but there's just something that was missing, especially audio wise. Now, we don't have to worry about that. And before I kind of go into it, let me show you kind of what I mean. So, director panel, we now have the ability to add an element directly into our scene and that we can reference, right? And we can choose to upload an image, so we can have our starting image. We can have the image that we want to base everything off of. There's a lot that we can do now with our director panel. Movement, so we can just leave it on auto. So instead of it just being a static shot and boring and not really knowing what to do, we can just let it kind of take control and go wild with it if that's what we want it to do. Speed ramp. So this has a variety of things that you can do. This has everything from the speed of the character, speed of the footage. It kind of depends. Your duration. You can go up to 12 seconds now instead of just 10 seconds. So that's a big improvement. Your sound being on. And now we also have genre. They have actually, in the last hour, in the last hour, they have added additional genres. That is something interesting. Okay. Wild. Okay. So these will help the AI understand what sort of thing you're trying to get done in your scene. Pretty fucking crazy in my opinion. 1080p or 720p, always 1080p. We never want to do 720p. That is just pure dog shit. Then we also have multi-shot. Now, multi-shot is now 100% in here. If I've ever tried to use start and stop images, the same image, I have. And if you're using that in order to get a loop, it doesn't work the way you think it does. Sometimes it can kind of get there, but it's not perfect. I have tried for loops, but you honestly, if you're trying to get a loop, your best bet is to have a character with a minimalistic background, and you can kind of get there. But usually, if you have anything, even remotely complicated, even a few things in the background that can show speed or momentum, then you're gonna end up with something that looks like shit. So it is what it is. Um, but yeah, multi-shot auto means that it's going to change the perspectives and what you're going to be seeing overall. Or you can do manual where you describe each of your shots and you can describe the speed of each shot and how everything, like, you have so much control. The amount of control that you have over your shots is wild. Like, if I want the first scene to be, full speed, the second shot to be slow mo, the third shot to be like, there is so much you can do now in with the multi-shot setup. And auto usually going to be best in most circumstances unless you're trying to get very, very specific things done. Okay. So let's take a look at a couple things. So first off, We have this one. Just has the character. Just the character prompted in as an element. Maintains it pretty good. The signs, I know the signs are fucking shit, but that's not what's important. The important part is the character is consistent. Thank you for that. Let's see. And here's another one. Again, it's keeping it consistent. This time, it gave it a different motion for the camera. But each shot is very consistent with each one. I'm gonna mute audio, or at least bring it down. So this is single shot. There's no multi-shot here. Pretty basic, but you kind of get the point. Now, multi-shot. I think this is a multi-shot. So right here, this is an example of multi-shot. Now, understand, when you're doing multi-shot, you always want to use an element. The reason you use an element is so that AI doesn't get lost in the sauce with what you're creating. Very important. Because in a shot like this, we have our character, we understand what he looks like, and also you'll notice it's not like slight variations in face each time. It is the character in each of these scenes every time, which the fact that we're already here with our digital actors is fucking insane. So here we go. It's not a perfect scene, but guys, we can do wild shit. There is so much we can do. And the coloring and the way it all looks, it's very flat. And so if we wanted to fix that, we can take that into fucking Premiere. We can apply a LUT to it, and we can really enhance the color and make it look how we want it to look. It's amazing. So, all right. Here's another one. Again, the character, very consistent every single shot. And it's understanding what's happening. Now, here's where things can fall apart. And it's not really the AI's fault. It's mainly my fault. Right? The big reason why these scenes fell apart, at least the ones I'm about to show you, is because I didn't take my time in prompting them. I didn't, and I should have. But I'm gonna still show you what they look like, so that you can see what an action sequence looks like if you don't direct it the way you need to. You notice the background characters got better and aren't walking in sync? Yes. Yes. How much are these models? Yeah, so it really depends on what you're doing. If you want to do Higgsfield and you want to do what I'm doing, it's about $250 a month. I got mine during Christmas and it was $800 for 18 months. So I'd recommend for a sale just to hold out a little bit if you can. Otherwise, Kling is what, $160 a month, and then Veo is about $250 a month. But when you get Veo and you get Google AI Ultra, understand you're not just getting Veo, right? You're getting Genie, you're getting all the AI coding, you're getting a lot of shit outside of just Veo. Veo is still worth it, but there's that to understand. That's the kind of consistency you've been holding your breath for. I know. All right. So these are action sequences. I didn't prompt in any intense way. So just understand these are rough, but they're better than what we used to get. They are better, and I guarantee if I sat down and I prompted them, they would be excellent. The AI cinematic universe. Yes, we can 100% do that. And here's the thing, right? There is not you will not use a single AI. If you do what I do, and you really want to take things to another level. And just understand, I'm the shit post stuff that I do is really pushing AI to its limits of what it can do. And also, it's not just the limits of what it can do, but also the limits of the sensors and what's allowed on platforms. So I could do cinematic shit if I really put my mind to it. I just like shit posting. So take that for what you will. Anyways, I understand it looks like shit for what it is, but we can do better. That is a very unprompted action sequence. If you want to do action with AI, understand with AI, you have to write it as though you are detailing every last little thing that's going on in the screen as far as movement. So just understand that you really have to sit there and you have to write out your action sequence as though you're telling an actor or somebody to do something very, very specific. Hey, Kanito, thanks, dude. So just remember that. All right. Here's the other one. We have action. We can do intense action. We can. We got to be smart about how we do it because we 100% can cross a line. Thankfully, Higgsfield doesn't cross that line, but still, we can do action and violence. We are not limited to just basic shit. You know, that was one of the reasons why in season 2, episode 2, when Tectone was sitting down with XQC to play a fucking card game, the reason I did that is the subversion of that sequence, instead of, the Gandalf versus Saruman, instead of them fighting it out in that central chamber, they're playing a card game. Okay, that's funny. But I also couldn't do combat. And now we can. Now we can. What the fuck was that at the very end? Don't worry about it. All right. So that's unprompted, and this is the same prompt in Kling. Let's go up here. No prompt, not saying how the body's gonna fall, not saying what he's doing. Okay. So there's limitations. There absolutely are, but we can absolutely do some wild shit. Looked like the AI blew a chunk of the dude's head and dropped it on the floor. Yes, you absolutely can. Check. Well, shit. I appreciate you, man. That matters a lot. Matters a lot, especially because that means I can now take breakfast. Cool. Excellent. I appreciate that. Yeah. Any um and before we get into the actual development of what I'm gonna end up doing, I'll show you guys that here in just a moment. But man, there is so much you can do with it. You just really, really have to go crazy with it. Um what the fuck is it supposed to be doing with the mag? It is what it is. We're gonna have there's still things. Listen, here's the thing, Cody. It is amazing that we are at the point where we are complaining about what he is doing with the mag instead of what is he even shooting, what is even like the fact that that's what we're complaining about shows a tremendous amount of progress, a tremendous amount. You missed the floppy Tommy mag from the beach battle. Yeah, those are now gone, completely gone. Yeah, it's actually it's amazing at how far we have actually come. I'm gonna use the image from the other day really quick. Let me pull it up. Uh, so just remember, this was peak at the beginning of last year, and this is where we are this year. Last year, now. Just people can complain all they want. People can say, oh, they don't get fingers right. Oh, whatever, eating spaghetti. This is just a year. This is a year apart from this. Just understand, you know, people people that are against AI really don't get it. They really, really don't get it. He almost had correct hands. I know. But it's like if people don't like AI and they think it's shit, they really don't get it. Okay. All right. That one's way passable. I had to think about it for a second when you saw it. Yeah. Yeah. Like it's like this you could reason you could outside of Seagal like half his size in like weight. There's that. But then you also have like, okay, we can even do this. Like, well, it's crazy. It's crazy. Some of the C Dance vids on Twitter right now are amazing. Yeah, some of those are from the research people or people that got access to it. I am going to strongly, strongly recommend to every single person out there that wants to do AI, do not do any webs. Don't go to any website. Don't use any website that currently has Seed Dance on it. The reason why, they're going to be pretty sketchy. They're very, very sketchy. I would wait for them to be available on a mainstream platform like OpenArt, Higgsfield, or whatever the case may be. But it should be a major, major platform that is widely known instead of some sketchy whatever the fuck site. Like people that go to cdance2.ai, yeah, that's how you get your fucking shit stolen. Don't do that. Just wait, be patient. It'll be here. It's fine. Seed Dance, yeah, Seed Dance is the is from TikTok. Okay. So, let's talk about what we're doing today and tomorrow. We are going to take part in this. We absolutely are going to take a part in this. Do I think I'm going to get to the top? No. If I am lucky, then I might be able to get into the honorable mentions, but I'm going to try and get something done to put in here. So what are we doing and why are we doing it for It's Always Been About the Money? Well, if we look at what we had for It's Always Been About the Money, the intro sequence was Kirsch and Fox News talking about things. We're going to redo every single thing that we have done for It's Always Been About the Money except for the actual song portion, right? All the visuals for that, we're leaving that, right? We're not redoing the entire song or anything like that, but all of the news portions before and like the helicopter scene after, we're redoing those. And we're going to add an action sequence with the Sog Frogs in front. So I'm going to get the Sog Frog things done that I wanted to do before, and that's going to be in the beginning of It's Always Been About the Money. So we're going to try and get two things done at once, something that we can submit. It can be up to 5 minutes in length. Between 15 seconds and 5 minutes, which if you're submitting a 15-second clip, that means you really don't give a shit. But this, we're going to really make some cool shit happen, and I'll show you the vibes that we're going to be going for. I have everything kind of picked out, and you guys will be able to listen to it. Went over the entire tutorial of this video. You can clip it. Well, just watch the first, fucking hour, 45 minutes, something like that. Venice is nowhere near the quality for this. Their LLMs aren't that great. Yeah, they are not close. There is quite a bit else that you can do for the images you're talking about, Josh. quite a bit else. Anyone else into Comfy UI? So I am waiting. No, my GPU is not here yet. We have a solution because Starforge is dragging their dicks. We have a solution in order to get a 5090. So instead of continuing to wait around and just getting fucked over, but I still have Comfy UI ideas and concepts that I have, and I'll show you guys that when that 5090 gets here. But for right now, it is what it is. Maybe with mission failure and Techie is watching on tablet, throws it out of the helicopter. So person don't like Comfy UI, you prefer dumb Stable Diffusion Web UI. I like Comfy UI because you can program and make it however the fuck you want, and because we now have Claude 4.6, even Gemini 3, we have a lot of really good AI coding assistants that can make Comfy UI absolutely insane for your use case to a point. To a point. Okay, so let me explain what we're doing. Let me explain, and then I'll give you the audio, the music that we're going to be putting behind this, so you can understand the vision and what we're going for. So we are going to be introducing the Sog Frogs and also the whole Vietnam thing here. And this is for, it's always been about the money and also for this contest. And so we're going to kind of go through this area that they've been through, and we're going to slowly build up to seeing them at all. And then we'll start to see them in action. And then I need to use the classic show don't tell, and I need to think of how I want to show that they're going after the F box and they're trying to search the jungle for the F box. By the end of it, I want them to be doing recon and to see and confirm that yes, the F box is indeed in Vietnam, and then that's what gets back to Tectone, right? That's what I want to do, and that's kind of the goal, is to get from here all the way to there. We'll figure something out. So, all right, let's take a listen. Let's go back here. Okay. So right, so this is just your intro. No, that's not the right one. Fucking hate that shit. Yeah. Right, so this is our intro. This is what we're going to use to build into the action. And then we're going to, at some point when they're going to get into the action, we do have a track for that. Download the wave. Right. So we're gonna figure out what this sounds like and what this works. Right? Trying to go for something that's kind of center, not that's more like Amon Tobin, very like or Splinter Cell or something like that. It's kind of what I'm going for. So that's what we're going for. We'll see what we can really make happen, and the yeah, we'll figure it out. But I want to start with an ambient introduction, and I don't want to. Yeah, we just want to start with something ambient, something that's very mood setting. I'm trying to think of what that looks like and how to achieve that. Um, let's see. Let's do if we can get this to look good. Yeah, as far as credits goes, I go through credits fast. Like if I could, if I didn't have to be economical with this, I would I could throw like $300 easy into making this, but I don't have 300 bucks. So doesn't even happen. Doesn't even matter. About super thick fog in the early morning. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going. That's kind of what I'm going for. But the idea is river, like there's the camera, there's a river, and on the far bank is the jungle, and there's a dead body that's camouflaged and kind of hidden that you can't really see. And I want as the camera kind of progresses towards it, I want the body to fall into the water. That's what I have in my head of what I want for this opening sequence. What about rain? I don't want to fuck with rain right off the bat, just because there's a lot of nonsense that happens with rain, especially with AI and trying to get it to impact the characters, because that can be problematic. It doesn't work the way you think it does. So we'll figure it out at some point. Uh, let's see. Never did that Splinter Cell plot. Yeah, I never did the Splinter Cell plot in Tectone One, and that's just because it wasn't understanding sneaking around for Nux. So we'll figure we'll get something going. But yeah, the rain. I wish I could. Really good. Oh, it's a little too zoomed in on the fucking corners though, or a little too fucky. I think we're gonna go 35. What if we just did film? Camera is set up. Bank. Okay. No, we'll just leave it like that. Let's see what we can come up with. Let's see. What if fog is so thick? I don't want to do. The idea is that like they've already passed by this area, right? So I wanna slowly reveal them. I don't want to show them in the first frame. I want to show things about them, um, so that people kind of get there. So maybe by like the third scene, you can start to actually see them like moving around a little bit. But I don't want to ruin everything straight away. I want to bring people into the scene before I really, go crazy with it. The Sog Frog rising up from underwater, yes, we can definitely do that, but we gotta wait before we do that. We really got to wait. Was that Tectone and Elon Musk post a reference to your video? That is 100% from a screenshot from there. I don't know if I sent Tectone that image. Um, but yeah, that's from the thing. And they do make 69 because you got to keep it 69 and unprotected. It almost looks good. Okay, so let's relight this. Soft light. Something about that color. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, no, Sog Frog rising up from the water will definitely get there. I just don't want to do that yet. This one's the most likely that I'm thinking of using. I want to emphasize before we even see the Sog Frogs that they are an efficient force, right? I really want to hone in on the fact that they are good at what they do. Right. That's kind of the whole thing. If we can get that, then we're good. But I don't. Yeah, we'll see what we can get done. I am surprised that Tectone used that image. I gave him a better one, to be honest. Let me find it if I can. Uh, no, it's not that one. Uh, where the fuck did that folder go? Favorite track. Yeah, that wasn't the best one. This one was the best one that I generated by far, like by a lot. And you want to know the best thing about this image? Emulating as though it's a selfie from a phone. Tectone never met Elon. You'll have to ask him about it. You'll have to ask him about it. Ooh, yes. Ooh, I picked the right fucking color for it too. Okay. All right. Let me show you. Okay. Let me show you the magic. Let me show you guys the magic of what you can do with these fucking images. Now, the reason you do 4K is because you're going to do editing, and every time that AI edits something, it 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 matters. Every last little thing that AI touches, it can get a little fucky. So here's our original image that we created, right? Looks good, but it's not what I wanted. So what did I do? I clicked relight. I changed the direction of the light in 3D space. Oh, sorry. Bring this over just a little bit. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot about that being in the fucking corner. Okay. So the way you do this, you can use this, drag it around to determine where you want the light source to come from. In this case, I wanted it to be up here to the top left. I want it to shine down on the body, right? I want the body to have the light. And then I said, okay, brightness, I don't want it to be super bright because it doesn't need to be, and it should be a soft light. If you guys don't okay, soft light is something like sunlight or indirect light. Hard light is a flashlight or spotlight, something like that, where it's actually like super directed at something. So soft, lower the brightness, and then the color. I decided I want like about that right there. That looks good to me. And then I generated, and so we went from this to this. Easy. So this looks perfect to get started with. It's still at high resolution. Okay, perfect. Is there anything that needs to be changed? No. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna copy that. Take this. We're gonna add dot auto. As the shot presses, body falls into the water. Let's make this a 10-second. Water slightly. Okay, let's generate. Oh, that's no music in scene. Okay, so what are we setting up here? Will it keep the lighting as I generate? Yes. Yes. Uh, 1 second. Come on, load piece of shit. Download PNG. Okay, so it's giving me PNGs. Yet last night it was not giving me PNGs. It was doing everything in what's it called? JPEGs, which is not good. You want to use PNGs whenever possible. If the file size is too large, then you want to go back down to JPEGs. But for right now, okay, so we're gonna put that there. All right. So real quick before I just get into the fucking flow of things, let me. Are we gonna be following a trail? Yes, pretty much. Pretty much. Hill, you got it. Yeah. Frog actions start with S, and yeah. So here's the deal. So right here, whenever you use elements, and this is important to how you use elements, you want to refer to them throughout your sequence if you need something to happen with that element, right? So let's say I'm using Asmongold and Tectone in a given scene, right? Okay, that's fine. I just every time that I say he or they or whatever, I need to refer and use that element as much as possible. Sometimes you don't need to do that because you're just establishing that it exists one time. And in this case, we're establishing that the scene exists just one time because it's kind of all that we really need. We don't need anything fucking crazy. So we're just gonna put it in there. We're gonna generate and let's see what we get. So it working with elements, it makes sense. Okay. Try that. Why did you fuck that up? General Sure, let's try 2 suspense gen. Sleep forever, yes. Let's see what we can get. Yeah, no, there's a lot. How much that 40 click cost? Um, well, let's do the math. 6,000 divided by 250. Wait, nope, I'm stupid. 250 divided by 6,000 times 40. Uh, about $1.67, roughly. So each credit on Higgsfield is about a nickel. Like if you just want to use that as a good baseline. So anytime you use Higgsfield, a credit is a nickel. There are some things that are very expensive. For example, here I'll show you guys an example of that. YouTube, if you fucking fuck with this video because I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna get quite upset. Okay, cool. So they didn't actually do audio. All right, this generation right here, to restyle it, this was expensive. This was expensive. This wasn't 40 credits. This was 980 credits to get done. So it really depends on what you're doing. And is it worth it? And to me, it was worth it to fuck with that and see how it came out. And it actually came out looking really cool. It looked cool. Oh, I know it looks cool, but it's expensive. That's the thing. Like you want something to look cool, it's expensive. I have to make do with the credits that I get every month, and it is what it is. I I use as much credits as I get access to just from my regular subscriptions. I can't afford to be fucking buying more credits right now. I do not make nearly enough money to do that. You know, I think on average I break even roughly with just my the services that I have, and then I have to decide which bill I don't pay that month. Pretty much how things work. It's not fun living penny to penny, not even paycheck to paycheck, really. But it is what it is. I'm really hoping I can get one of these a spot in one of these an honorable mention. That would be amazing. Don't know if we'll get there, but we'll give it a shot. We're waiting for these to generate. It can take a little bit. Only thing you have right now is the $30 a month plan. Yeah, yeah, it is what it is. The elites really like geothermal HVAC. Yeah, pretty much. The small coffee per click. I know. But here's the thing, right? I am a perfectionist by nature. If I had to do it with the cheapest or most economical things possible, I promise you, I wouldn't be making content. Because to me, it's not good enough when I know that I can do better. And I know every month that I get 6,000 credits to Higgsfield for the next 17 months. So I know I have that at least. But, it is what it is sometimes. And I do what I can. But for me, I like playing with all of this sort of shit and really pushing the limits of what people can make. I don't see many other people pushing the boundaries like that. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Yeah, I mean, the harder I work is the less return I'm seeing on what I do. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because, well, I'm of two minds of this, right? On one hand, I do this because I love it, right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a lot of fun making things. Right? I have a and I would keep doing this no matter what. But on the other hand, it's stressful because you have that need to perform. You know what I mean? I wish I didn't, but it is what it is. I don't have someone that's just gonna be like, yo, I got your bills and food and shit covered for, the rest of for the rest of the year. Don't worry about it, just create. Like, okay, cool. But that doesn't exist. That's not reality. So I gotta do what I can. The one thing that is great is that, I mean, if I had a job, would that help? Sure, but then I wouldn't be able to stay on point with this as I currently am. It's actually impressive. The only thing it really got wrong, like noticeably wrong, like uh, like you can nitpick the shit out of this, but the first thing that I see is the charging handle is backwards. Interesting. Okay. Isn't he dead? It is what it is. Make the big leagues. Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. It's just the path to survival until then. Fuck, dude. Are are people are people ready for this level of realism? Like I know he's supposed to be dead, but like Jesus fucking Christ. All right. His foot's backwards. It's fine. It's fine. Looks like a Type 2 AK from first glance. You look up, you're at the other mob and thought I was watching a movie. I know. You could see AI making 6 zombie and horror movies. Okay. Let's keep it with suspense. I'm going to remove the movement that he has. Or okay, do we add the movement and we just have a crocodile be dragging his body in? I think that's what we're gonna do. Hey. And all right, let's do that. Let's make the duration 12 seconds. And then we're gonna leave this as suspense. And then we're just gonna generate. Like, dude. Okay. All right. And here, you only we're gonna do the Team Fortress stuff later. Okay. By the way, the reason we're not doing Team Fortress right now is this contest requires original work. Can't be branded, can't have known IPs or anything. So that's why we're doing this. So yeah, otherwise I would. It looked like yeah. If the crocodile doesn't work, then I can just use one of those as though he's being pulled in by a crocodile. Um, the worst AI confused is real, but yeah, this is yeah. Don't we'll do some more TF2 stuff. You'll see it. Just an arm coming out of the water would be interesting. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what this looks like. I want to get this first shot, and then we'll move it. We'll move on. How much of your generations attempt feel like gambling? 90% of them. The fail rate is pretty significant. Now here, okay, all right. Let me back up just a little bit. So the fail rate before now was whether or not it was even comprehensible, right? If you ever, feel inclined to, and go back and watch Ketamine Dreamin' and the dev streams for that, you'll see there's a lot of failed gens that were just like really far off the mark, and there's a lot of takes that we took just because we needed something that was like understandable. We weren't looking for fine details or anything like that. Right now, I'm looking at the fine details. I'm looking at all the little nitpicks and everything that I have. I can't actually say that they're failures outright like they used to be. Like 3 months ago, you could have failures that were absolutely fucking dog shit and terrible. But now we're at the point of the little nitpicks. Go back, watch it. It's all about the money. One, how many times spent on little details like time erasure? I know, I know. Hey, Mike. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Saltwaters have been extinct in Nam since the 80s. Yeah, that's a little detail we're gonna leave out. We don't. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it all is gambling. I mean, honestly, everything with AI, it it is everything that you do with AI is a gamble. From code to image to music to whatever. It's just how many credits do you have, and can you get what you're looking for before you run out of credits or money. That's kind of the nature of AI right now. We're getting to the point where that's not so bad, but it's still very much so the case. But fuck, dude, this looks so good. Okay, I need this to be done. I'm saving this because I have somebody that. Ah, thank you. All right, sorry about that. I get to use my perfectionist to the max. Yeah, it's to me it really matters of does it make sense, right? That's what I care about. Does it make sense? And in this instance, does it make sense that his body like contorts and that it moves? It doesn't really make sense. There needs to be a reason for it that's on the screen instead of just making an assumption. Because the immediate assumption of seeing his body there is that he's dead, right? So like it's something like that that I care about. Um, you say non-generative art is also a gamble. Do you want to spend potential days photoshopping image drawing by hand just for it to potentially not come out as you want and all this time be wasted? I mean, sure, yeah. But what's my favorite color? I don't know. Red, maybe. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. Yes, I 100% agree with that. Absolutely. Without question. Blow their fucking minds. Into that a bit more. Okay, sorry about that. Radio play ruined music from 20 years ago. That's fair. I mean, the thing with radio is, I don't know, man. I I, I just can't stand radio because it's always just syndicated trash, and I want to listen to what I want to listen to, which is more eclectic, and I just don't want to listen to it. I can't. Even satellite radio is the same fucking way. Saltwater cocks are especially rare in places of high human activity, middle of nowhere. I think we're good. They're rare but not extinct. Okay. Okay, let's see. Did we get it? Uh. Are there any shots I can use from that? I might be able to use the end shot as something. I think I'm going to use this. It looks deniable. It looks plausible that it could be. And then I can bring in that shot or that at the end. Yeah. We can do that. That works. Okay. Bring up Premiere. Yeah, I don't have $25. So it is what it is. Oh, wait. We're not using this. We're using Resolve. Splice. Yeah, we're gonna splice shit. We can splice it. It's fucking easy. Yeah, I don't care. There's a lot we can get away with. Down to. Okay. Yeah, so this was the opening that we already had.
Fox News, where retardation and autism meets.
And we're going to redo
and
this.
Welcome to Fox News. Tonight, we are taking a closer look at Tectone's invasion of Vietnam, which is on its 54th day. The Fat Frogs have established several bases in the region, and we go now to speak with the top frog in charge.
How are things going in Vietnam?
These fat frogs have succeeded in the most disastrous manner, but managing them sucks worse than denims on $10 Tuesdays.
How do you feel about the Fat Frogs being here?
I'm happy. They killed that bitch of a mother-in-law for me, and now they're building me a new hut. It's amazing.
There are several reports of the Fat Frogs going off the rails and destroying all the villages nearby, mostly because they don't remember their orders, and Tectone is being blamed. KFC, Tectone's agency, claims this because he didn't deal with FTX and the stolen F-Box. We have Rabbi Grabelstein for a response.
Look, we aren't evil. We are just humble rabbis looking for world domination. Tectone just broke a monitor my receptionist had on her desk, so he really is just being a dick.
No.
Okay, and we got all that shit. All right, so we're gonna move all that over to the side. Gonna be a good intro. We're gonna redo that. We're gonna redo it. Why doesn't it say Foxu? We're gonna redo things. Don't worry about it. We're gonna redo it. I promise. All right, let's go here. That was before plastic surgeries and actual cum goblin. Yes. I don't like that. How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? I think I'm going to leave it ambiguous. We're going to leave it ambiguous. All right, so check this out. Do we extend the scene? Already at 12 seconds. Let's see. No. Okay, so we're going to extract the end frame, actually. Okay, hold on. A. Is briefly near the shore with the arm of a vehicle. It's well, or getting it and back under the. Let's see if we can do that. We're gonna make this in probably 6 seconds. We don't need it to be fucking long. 7. I don't think about it. Multi-shot. Let's give it a try. Cool. To the back is the croc. Yeah, we're not gonna have anything in there. And then once we get that, because we got the end of the scene. Not start generation. fuck do you mean? Oh. Oh, good. Of the river. All right, let's try that. 6 seconds. We don't need anything long. Cannot start generation. Why the fuck can you not start generation? So if I refresh, is it gonna fuck things up? Okay. Why? Uh. Hmm. Wait, I need to get the actual. How do I want to do this? Wait, let's watch again. I think that's enough. Listen to the audio real quick. We do that, and then we're gonna have something else from the Song Frogs. Okay, so an image. A small trail in the Vietnam jungle. Okay, so they've clearly been carving a path. Yeah, we don't care about that. We'll figure it out later. Maybe put the croc swimming at the start of the scene. We'll see. But okay, so they've been carving a path. So they killed the dude by the water. Okay, so we got that. Now they're gonna be in the Vietnam jungle. They're gonna be in the dense Vietnam jungle at pre-dawn. The a thin fog can be jungle for a few. I think it's going to be inland on a trail. A well camouflaged bunker and let's see, outposts made of brush, handbags, and logs can be seen ripped apart by heavy can be seen having been ripped apart by heavy gunfire and several bodies of can be around. I'm just trying to think of my visuals, right? I want it to be like an outpost that they clearly just went through and completely eviscerated all of it, the people inside. You know what? It's not gonna have been ripped apart. Can be seen with several bodies of identified trying. They have some have knife, others shot. Flamethrowers yet? Flamethrowers is going to be in the main series. Sog frogs are very special, so we're not going to have them do that. Some have knife moves, others are shot. In those of an intense, stealthy ambush with. Okay, let's see if we can get this. It's got to be an intense scene. Craters from blown up tunnels. Yeah, I'm thinking craters from blown up tunnels, and then I'm also thinking of like just like a camera going through the forest and going down like a trail, and then the camera just like sweeps up, and there's several dead Viet Cong in the trees, just like strung out across the branches. You know, like they were fucking picked off from down below. That's I'm just thinking of how can I make this look like these dudes know their shit, right? That's kind of what I'm going for. So it's just using very human language. And listen, here's the thing that's most that I say this a lot, right? When you're using something like Grok, using Stable Diffusion, Dolly, whatever the fuck, here's what you really run into. You have a lot of quality identifiers or negative identifiers that you have to use. I don't have those problems because I'm using a more premium product, but also a more modern product that lets me instead write things in a very natural way, right? I can focus more on the writing prose instead of having to remember that I put masterpiece and aesthetic and details and all these other fucking things in there, or negative, bad anatomy, or what, you name it, right? I don't have to do any of that because this understands what I'm going for and what you write, and does a really good job of understanding that. In fact, I would bet good money that if you were to probably take something from, take your pick of a combat book, whether sci-fi or not, and put it in Higgsfield, I bet it would do a really good job at making that happen. And look at that. It's understanding the context of, yeah, okay, this is great. It's understanding the coloring that I want. So it's going to be an image of this, and then I need an image of the of something. I didn't think of what I wanted to do. We are going to have some crazy explosions at some point, but for right now, we're not. What's up, Tater Chip? It also gives you a more vivid image now, so you don't have to use as many negative prompts. Yes, and because Higgsfield was trained on people understanding, the movie scripts and cinematics, it understands what you're trying to get across a lot more than other things. So it is what it is. In fact, here, let's try this. Let's uh image. Let's see. Uh Grok not exist? Ah. Mm. Yeah, let's try that. All right. So that wants to be stupid for just image. So let's do video. Next to video. Let's. And Grok can only do 720 feet, 720p. That's a problem. Okay. Once again, it's putting people that are alive in there, and I don't want any of them to be alive. It needs to be a path of destruction that was taken. Camera moving backwards, revealing the devastation of the compound. Yeah. Kill, yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. Honestly, with all these advances in AI, it just excites that we're going to be able to go back to doing crazy wild shit with Blue Puppet sometime. Well, the exposing China Lake, we'll see if we can do that. The thing that excites me about it is that I'm not limited anymore, and I can do more than I've ever been able to, right? So, for example, when we were doing the Mad Max sequence in the Ketamine Dreamin', and just how fucked up the sand tornadoes were and all that shit, I'm positive that we can do a lot better job of like a convoy and all of that. It's just all the little things, all the little bits and pieces in there. I promise we can do uh, a pretty crazy amount now. That's an M16. I don't want to see M16s because that's implying the wrong thing. Also implying the wrong. Oh, that's why. That's why. Uh, that's my bad. Let's generate again. Yeah, this ability. Yeah, I know. Like, here's the thing. If I wanted to do the Penny Ninja Stars, I can have Penny Ninja Stars. I can have them throw the fucking Penny Ninja Stars. Like, there's shit that we can get done. What I know I can get some combat done, but what I don't know if I can do, and we're gonna get to the point pretty quick where it's gonna be a sniper shot, and if we're gonna be able to actually get somebody, it's gonna sound good and look good. That's gonna be the problem. Body hanging out of a sniper's nest, but definitely, yeah. I'm thinking we're gonna do, once we get this image and then we generate, then we're gonna do one more where it's looking up through the trees and seeing the bodies in the branches, like they were perched up there. And then we're gonna do a reveal of the muzzle of a Sog Frog sniper. That's what I think we're gonna do. And then maybe it'll end with a shot, and then we'll get something where somebody's head gets fucking popped by it. What rifle do I want to use in that, by the way? That's a question that has to be answered. Let me check my collection. Thankfully, I have a shitload of high quality gun pictures. What would they be using in that environment? Let me check my drive. It's in my drive. No. Okay. Get. Maybe. Promo? Is it here? There's the M60. I do not trust fully automatic fire from this shit yet, though. That's not it. Paired with. Oh, I think this was it. Aha. Okay. We need to find one of these that actually has. That would be cool, but that's too old. Fuck yeah. I think a Mark 12 will do just nicely. Yeah, I think we'll do a Mark 12. Anything else? See, I thought this would look. No, not that one. Where's the other one? I thought it would be cool. The old L96 with a suppressor, but it's too old. Way too old. All right, let me see if I have anything else. Yeah, I know there's the KS1 or the KS and the K1. The K5 actually would be pretty fucking sick. I don't know how many people have actually seen like an actual fucking K5, but there's a K5. Doesn't have an optic, so does not work too well. Just seeing what's actually fucking what I have on hand. I'll look later. That's enough. Tactical M24, yeah. M14, maybe. They do have an op that I could put in there. All right, let's. This looks good. This looks really good. This is gonna be another 12-second scene, I think. Suspense, yeah, we'll leave it at suspense. We don't need anything crazy. We're just gonna generate. That should be good. Okay. Let's now. SKS is seen on the jungle floor on this side at the base of a tree, the side of a small tree to the side base of a tree, and blood droplets around the floor. Blood can be seen on the side of the tree as though it flowed down the side from up above. and then we'll have the pan up to the dead bodies. Excellent. Is it possible to prompt proper automatic fire? I think I can do that, actually. I think I can. Tactical M24 is a classic. Yeah, but we can do better than that. We can do better than that. I'm positive we can do some crazy shit. Like, listen, you really want a fucking M24 when we can have a fucking CSR, like, or a surgeon, or M110 with the night vision, or like even if we want to go simple, a Noveski bolt action, like or a PSR with carbon fiber, like we can go above and beyond to levels that nobody else can do, because nobody has this sort of shit or is using these references. They just don't. I'm one of the few people that actually has these images. So, is what it is. I have a bunch more on my phone I need to pull. I don't want to back up my phone yet, though. I need to do that. There's a lot of shit I need to do. I just haven't done. Oh, that looks pretty good. Do we like that and then have the reveal up the tree and see like 2 dead bodies? Curious if it can make anything. As long as I have a high resolution reference image, it can make anything. It can. I think this is good because like we started dark. This one's a little lighter. This one's a little lighter, so it's the progression through the dawn. I think that's good. Okay, we're gonna copy. We're gonna animate. The camera moves and looks up into the tree canopy, which reveals 2 dead Viet Cong in the tree, tangled in the branches and bleeding down onto the forest or the jungle, or one of the an AK-7 also seen stuck in the branches, not having fallen all the way down when dropped it dying. All right, let's see if we can get this. I'm going to be so excited if we get the vibe that I'm going for. Would be very excited. Yeah, let's see if we can do it. Let's see. If once this is done, then we'll be able to we'll do the Sog Frog, not necessarily the reveal of them, but it's definitely going to be the reveal of a barrel of a rifle and then a shot out into something, and then we'll have an impact on a Viet Cong, like scared somewhere. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Just mainly curious in the weapon cycling and if it can properly make bullet physics. It's getting a lot closer. Like if you had asked me that question last month, I would tell you no. But we're getting so close. We're getting so close. We really are. And I would anticipate more common rifles and weapons to have things set up and rigged that AI can understand over, the obscure, right? Don't expect like a fucking, French chew shot, right, to be in there over an M4 or an AK. What was the question? Whether it can do weapon cycling and proper bullet physics, it is a lot closer than it's ever been. It is. All right, we gotta wait for these to generate. Will be good. Our image. Oh, that I just should have tried to make a vintage image. That's kind of cool. Okay. So now, mm, barrel of the rifle is in poking out uh, of camo netting. Though on a ridge line in Vietnam jungle. So a sniper is up to the shot. A below and I'll figure out the rest. But right now we need to get this rifle. Sniper out of frame and let's see. All right. Jesus. Okay. Okay. I can get behind where we're going. I can get behind where we're going. Let's see what the rest of these look like. And then real quick, we're going to get our image first. Looks like they were just caught napping. There's a limit to how violent I can really get with AI. Implied violence is a lot easier than straight up gore and violence. Like it's really difficult to get proper violence. The shaky cam makes it seem so real. Yeah. It looks good. It looks really good. Let's see. Let's see what else we can get. Yeah, we are generating the most premium of slop. Okay, let's see what the other ones. All right, so we have the other one. Ooh. I think I like, okay, I don't know which one I like better. They're both fucking amazing. I think I'm going to get both of them because there's elements from both that I can use. Oh. You meant it looked like they were caught sleeping. Oh. Okay, I got what you mean. But oops, I didn't trim below. Okay. All right, what do we got? That volume's coming. Okay, I think we're getting there. Interesting. It's almost what I'm going for. Almost there. There's elements of this we could use too. Maybe. Nothing of that. Let's see what we can do. The dripping blood was a nice touch. Yeah. Yeah. I know this shit isn't the slop that a lot of people want, but it's the slop that I'm making now. The trick is that okay, here's the trick too, right? You wish the guy just slid off the riverbank and it didn't look like he was pulled. I'll figure out a way to like put in there that it was a crocodile that got to him. I'll figure out a way to make it look right. But I don't know. I just need what I need is I need to think about how I'm going to make this as a standalone and also lead into it's always been about the money. And I don't want it to just be ultra intense. I want it to be intense enough to introduce these dudes so that there's no question about what they are capable of before we actually show the rest of it. So I'm just trying to think of how to implement the irreverence in here. But I need the seriousness in order to show what the Sog Frogs can do, you know? I need to see what this can make. Also, why didn't it save the prompt? I don't want to rewrite that. Fucking do it. Want to. I need some McDonald's MRE wrappers lying around. Yeah, I can do that. Ooh. Let's do this. Fires a single wait crowd of his breast rifle and camera, then shows a Viet Cong man holding a SKS in a makeshift tower outside of a compound, getting hit on the head by the round, dropping. No one seems to notice him being. Okay, we need this to generate so we can see what we can work with. I have a radio broadcast from Walking, Kentucky. Yeah, I'll figure out how to do that. I think we can do that. What's up, Everett? What's up, man? How you doing? We're making next generation AI slop. True, next generation. Lily, what's up? Yeah, it's this opening I need to figure out. Figure out where to put the crocodile. Perfect. We need the tree and the shot. And then I think we'll be pretty good cooking with gas. That's your neighbor? Well, welcome. Welcome to the Bongwater Zone. Teaching y'all how to harness AI. I'm really hoping this shot because I have seen some of these work, and I just hope that this shot isn't going to break fucking YouTube TOS as soon as it happens. Lantern, what's up, man? How you doing? Okay. Because yeah, that just looks too fucking good. As long as it understands that if it understands that it's a fucking rifle or it's a suppressed rifle, I'm gonna be very impressed. I'm gonna be extremely impressed, actually. Play title next to looks like a Marvel title. Next 2 is gonna happen after Menace Crew episode 3. So we're doing It's Always Been About the Money, which is the Tectone episode, Tectone in Vietnam, which was on pause for a little bit, and we're not on pause, so we're back into the full swing of it. But after this, we have It's Always Been About the Money, which is going to be a full feature-length film. And then it's going to be into Nux 2, because Nux did not finish the job in his first episode. So he's going to have to go and figure things out. There's quite a bit that we've been wanting to do, but we weren't able to, is what it is. Yeah, things are doing pretty good. We are figuring shit out and trying to make some crazy stuff happen. Like the fact that I don't know, man. I think you'd be hard. Like a lot of people would be hard pressed, especially for what shot this shot. You'd be hard pressed for a lot of people to figure out this was AI. Like just that shot alone, it would be difficult for a lot of people. This excites from madness. Yeah. Insane because this is showing the aftermath and they've been dead for a while. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm fine with it. It's I just like I need the tree scene to work, and then I need the rifle shot. I'm really curious to see if the rifle shot is going to actually work the way I think it is. If it does, that's going to be glorious. Here's a question on a scale of 1 to 5. How Charlie are we wanting Charlie? Charlie is, I don't know. We'll figure out. We'll figure out Charlie when we get there. Yeah, looking like a low budget film. I know. But it's still it's approaching the low budget film section instead of just like slop, you know? Do the Marvel thing like Tectone will return in. Yeah, so the way that it is, it already kind of is set up like Marvel. So all of the character episodes are all built on, you know, building things up for the Menace crew, and then when the Menace crew happens, that's your Avengers, and then your Nux episodes, Tectone episodes, Donut, which he still needs to fucking get a hold of me for Claws and Laws, you know, his episode. All these different things all kind of come together, and all of the lore get brought into the Menace crew to be used however we, right? So it's pretty fucking crazy what we can do. You're just gonna assume everything you see on screen is AI until proven real. Yes, pretty much. Pretty much. You keep expecting the Predator to show up. Yeah, I don't want to do anything with like Predator or anything like that. I'm sure that a lot of people are probably gonna attempt to make, you know, Predator sequels or remakes with AI. I just don't want to make it happen. So yeah. Having loving the rainy day off work. I think we're supposed to get some pretty good rain this weekend at some point. It should be pretty good. But yeah. Unfortunately, Higgsfield is under extreme demand, so it's taken a little bit of time for our generations. And it can kind of be a downfall or, you know, a big downside because I need to see how these are going to play out before I just start generating more, you know, and they're so expensive that I don't want to just pull the trigger and just have a bunch of them generate. So it is what it is. Hope someone can make an app that can detect AI in real time in images and videos. Well, Lily, I'll tell you what, that is, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, All right, let me rephrase that. Right now, if you use Google in order to create your AI, right? So you use Nano Banana, you use Veo, whatever the case may be, it automatically imprints it with synth ID. So you can easily tell whether or not it's AI. Whether other models do the same thing, that's pretty iffy. There's a lot of times where some of the images, like, I know this is fake because of the front sight, but like if I saw this, there's a few things that tell me it's AI. I wouldn't. It's, I don't know if I'd be able to straight away. Don't know. Okay, if someone told me that was I don't know if I'd be able to immediately believe them. I don't know if I'd be able to tell if that was AI or not. I that would make me really question things. And here's the other thing. You can take some of these into forensic shit and really look at the pixels, and you can really try and like look at a lot of things that used to be telltale signs for AI generated images. And when you're using professional grade AI software like Higgsfield, you're it's going to be really rough. Really, really rough. By the way, I am actually not sponsored by them. I don't have affiliate or anything with them in any way, shape, or form. They are just the best out there. So that is why they're getting the shout outs that they are. But yeah, if someone told me this was AI, I would, I don't know if I would be able to believe them the first time around. You guys know it is because you were here when I generated it, but yeah. All right. Okay, that was a we're gonna have to work on it. Okay, check this out. Check this out. Scene one. Okay, so we now have our two shots. Speed ramp, auto, movement, auto. We just have two shots. Let's see what we get. Impact is so, I mean, hey, listen, it's for what it is, you wouldn't have gotten this 3 months ago. Guarantee it. Would not have gotten it 3 months ago. Not gonna happen. It has the feel of it. If you told it is AI, you'd believe it. But if you saw it without the context, you think you'd be able to tell. Yeah, maybe, maybe. They're the first sniper generation of the receiver turned into a shotgun. Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. The old I could tell it's photoshopped by the pixels for a new era. Well, no, that's not it. You would be able to tell it by lighting quality and shit like that, but Higgsfield's so good at fucking generating shit, especially with the cameras that it replicates. Kind of fucking hard. kind of hard. In fact, I can actually show you. Let's. Give me a second. I'm going to get all the way back there. Hey, Kill, have a good one, dude. Maybe it would be better to render the sniper shot and the guard getting hit separately. Yes, that's what I just did. I just made that change. Okay. All right. Here's a good example. Aside from his shoulder patch, which is fucked beyond belief, Asobi, analyze this. It's pretty fucking insane at how close that matches real photos. As in the way that the image is constructed. And this is early, like early generation shit. Like one of the first ones that I ever did. You know, you even have the fucking light from the shitty flashlight here bouncing off of the wall. In fact, let's see what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like now. Let's find the M4. Uh-oh. One second. There it is. And we'll see what it looks like now. You can see some Marines wearing those. Yeah. Yeah. And catching the underside of the barrel. Yeah, I know. You stopped the playback early to look for inconsistency. Definitely evolved to the next level of realism. I know. Let's see what it generates. Okay. Let me. Still working on this. What are we gonna get? Yeah, no, it's pretty fucking crazy what we can get. It's I don't know, man. The other thing that does suck about doing all of this live is, especially using the latest models, is how long it takes. Sometimes it's pretty quick, sometimes it takes a while, and it can kind of be irritating. Trying to figure out how to lessen the fucking the downtime that we have, but you know, it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna wait for these generations to finish, and once they're done, and I need to get that. I'll figure out what to do about that one. Question: why is it chrome paint? Wait, bus driver, do you not? One moment. witness me. Like, come on, dude. You didn't watch the Mad Max movie? Oh, well, yeah, that's what it's it's from Fear and Listen. If you guys haven't seen Mad Max Fury Road, I highly recommend it, especially if you have an excellent sound system and a great TV to watch it on. It is an experience. It's one of the few movies that I absolutely do not regret seeing in theaters because that was glorious. Absolutely glorious. You have a lot of downtime. Yeah, I know. It happens. It can happen. And the S2 subscriber. Yeah, it is excellent. Okay. Uh yeah, this is what we can do now. Like, come on. You can tell that it's shit because of the fucking light. But then you got this, like it it's so hard. It's so hard to tell now. All right. Woo! That was a spicy shot. Jesus fuck. All right. Okay, nothing even happened there. That's like a fucking shit tier movie. Yeah. You didn't see that movie? Is that the one with Chris Hemsworth? No, that's the one with who plays shit. What the fuck is his name? Thanks. Tom Hardy. That's the one. Yeah, Tom Hardy's in that one. You still want to make a Nux flag to fly at your door? Yeah, I might make one. That's the prequel? Fury Road's a prequel? Is it? Or you're talking about the Chris Hemsworth one is the prequel? Chris Hemsworth is fucking Mad Max? I don't see it. Okay. It was a good shot. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. I don't like that I can't reuse my fucking prompts though. That is irritating me. To rewrite that whole fucking thing. I'll figure something out. Anyways, I do apologize. I did say at the can I copy and paste? Well, I've been able to up until now. It's now eating the prompts, which is fucking annoying. So I got to rewrite them. Anyways, listen, gentlemen. At the beginning of this stream, I did say I had to cut things a little short tonight. Tomorrow is my girlfriend's birthday. I am going to celebrate that with her. I promised her that she would have my undivided attention, which means I need to actually get some real sleep. I also have to spend Valentine's with her. Just because it's her birthday doesn't mean that she doesn't get a Valentine's Day. So we will be live tomorrow. I don't know exactly when, and same thing on Saturday. But just letting you know, there's a little bit of a hiccup in our normal stream schedules here. And but I do appreciate all of you guys being here. If you guys want to support what I do, there is PayPal, there's Patreon, there's all sorts of ways that you guys can support. If you want to buy merch, themetascrew.com, all sorts of shit. It is always appreciated. However, the best way to support me by far, share a video with somebody. Share something funny, make somebody laugh. It doesn't even have to be something that I made. Find something that's funny, that's going to brighten someone's day, even for just a moment. Check in with your friends. and be a source of joy. And with that, thank you guys so much for being here. We will be live again tomorrow to continue this project. Thank you guys so much. You guys are all absolutely amazing. And with that, have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, or afternoon. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow at some point. Join the Discord if you want to get more notifications on when I go live, all that good shit. And with that, later.